Remember, we're speaking Palestinian Arabic. Let's imagine I want to say, I went to the market. Okay, I went to the market with my mother. Let's imagine I want to say this. So the verb to go. The verb went in the past, we understood how to conjugate. I go now to the list that we just learned and I choose I went. I went, you probably remember that it's رحت. I went. رحت. What happens, guys, here, and this is the thing that I want to add. What happens with verbs of movement, like verb to go, verb to arrive, verb to come, or to drive? All these verbs, guys, these are called verbs of movement. And these verbs of movement, they need a preposition afterwards. I went to, I arrived to, I came from. Usually the preposition to, when you are moving to a place, so verb of movement to a place, to or towards, in Arabic, we say in Palestinian Arabic, remember. So let me say in Arabic first. In standard Arabic, it's ila. But this is not something that we want to focus on now because we don't put ila, the preposition ila, which means to, in Palestinian Arabic. This ila in Palestinian Arabic or in Shami Arabic becomes a or ala. Okay, I know that you might know that ala means on, but ala in the dialect does not mean on. It's a preposition that is following a verb of movement like the verb رحت, and it means to or towards. Now we can use either ala the way it is, or some Arabs are very lazy, especially Palestinian Arabs, they can lazy, which means we can say only a instead of ala. We just pronounce the first letter of the preposition ala, pronouncing a, it means to. Okay, so you can choose between رحت على or رحت ع. It's not a problem. Let's write here what we have written so far. رحت, I went. ع or على, whatever you want to say. Where did I go? I went to the market. The market. So because it's it's not a market whatsoever, it's the market. So رحت على السوق. If you want to say على السوق, sometimes or usually what happens is you right away jump from ع to the L. على السوق. أنا رحت على السوق even. You cut the L, the sound of the L, which is the article. You just say رحت على السوق. على السوق or على السوق, it means to the market altogether. That happens in spoken, of course, in the spoken dialect. أنا رحت على السوق. So رحت على السوق with, here's another preposition, مع. مع means with, literally with, my mother. Now mother is M. My mother, everything that is mine, you know that we add the E. مع means with, okay? And إمي, M means mom. Everything that ends with a E is my. بيتي, my house. إمي, my mom. سوقي, my market. Now this is how we create the sentence. I went to the market مع إمي. One small note, if you still don't know it, but I guess you do know at this time, that everything that is with the letter ق in Palestinian Arabic, this is a characteristic of the Palestinian dialect. And if you still don't know this, how we pronounce differently the letters, I want to invite you to click here on the lesson, or I will put it in the description below. That was my first ever Palestinian dialect lesson here on YouTube, in which I taught you how to pronounce how some sounds differ in the dialect than the normal standard Arabic language. In particular, I talked about this letter, the letter ق, which is like this in Arabic. The letter ق in Palestinian dialect is never pronounced as ق, it's pronounced as So سوق becomes سوق, or قلب, which means heart, becomes قلب, or القدس, which means Jerusalem, becomes القدس in the Palestinian dialect. Everything that is ق becomes a. So this whole sentence would become رحت على السوق, or رحت على السوق مع أمي. رحت على السوق مع أمي. I went to the market with my mom. Yeah? You like this, Rohit? Let's imagine one other sentence. Let's imagine I didn't go, but she went. Let's imagine, let's try to say the student or the girl. Yeah, the girl. Let's not complicate our lives. The girl went to the school. All right, let's look at this sentence. Not that difficult. Not difficult at all. The girl, البنت. البنت, the girl. Now, went here is conjugating she, the girl. How do you remember? You have to remember. I hope. البنت راحت. البنت راحت. The girl went. And then we can continue the sentence. But I'm going to give you another option in which you can create the sentence. I guess you know that, oh my god, this lesson is becoming too long. But anyways, I guess you know that English language is a subject, verb, object language. I ate the cookie. I went to school. Usually you put the subject, then the verb. Arabic language is mostly verb, subject, object. So, went the girl to the school. Or ate Maha, the apple. So usually in Arabic we can still use subject, verb, object, but usually you would start with the verb. If you start with the verb, you simply switch between these. راحت البنت. Went the girl. Don't forget to or towards, which is a. But let's do it the way. So it's good that you know that you can create it also in the other way. But let's stick with this easier version. البنت راحت. What happens to do? What happens to the school? المدرسة. المدرسة. I guess you understand that everything that ends with a, madrasa, in the Palestinian dialect becomes a, madrasة. Let's try to transcribe it. البنت, the girl. راحت, she went. I understand that it's she from the at the ending. المدرسة. المدرسة. This al is the abbreviation of a plus المدرسة. Okay, to the school. البنت راحت على المدرسة or البنت راحت على المدرسة. If I went, أنا رحت على المدرسة. If you went, أنت رحت. If you female went, أنت رحتي. If all of you went, انتوا رحتوا. If all of them went, هن راحوا. And if all of us went to the school, احنا رحنا. Now you know how to conjugate a past tense verb. The verb actually, in particular, the verb راح, to go in the Palestinian dialect. I hope you like this lesson, but I'm waiting for your homework, which is, please translate these two following sentences to me. And your homework, I'm expecting it either here below, you write it in Arabic letters. If you don't know the Arabic letters, write it in Latin letters, and I will know that you understood the lesson and what's important in the dialects, or in particular in the Palestinian dialect, is to speak, to be able to communicate and to understand, not to write in Arabic. That's why I will accept if you only write me also in Latin letters. Or the other way is you go to Instagram, and I'm doing this like whole campaign thing of showing people that it's possible to learn Arabic, and you can take a picture of your homework, or take a picture of you watching this video, or take a picture of whatever, the sentences that you created, and you tag me at MAHA'S, and then I will show your homework to my followers. Okay, I will repost the story that you are tagging me in, or the post, or whatever, but I want to see your homework. Okay, so the first sentence that I want you to create is they, talking about they, it doesn't matter if they're males or females. They went to the old city. And here I'm introducing adjectives, which we will learn very well in the next lesson. But I'm not gonna end it here. With the new car. I'm adding another adjective, and I want to see how creative you are in creating the sentence. And the second sentence that I want you to do for homework is she went to his no, I don't like it. She went to the hairdresser. Okay, now hairdresser, I will help you because you might not know it. I will write the word hairdresser here. Halla. Ha. La. That's hairdresser. Why did I say hairdresser? Because I want to see how you create sentences if I go to a place or if I go to a person's house. And this is very, very important. This is a subject that we will learn also in the following lesson here on YouTube. All right, so if you like these lessons, please do the homework. Send me the homework here below, or either tag me on Facebook or on Instagram, mainly because on Instagram I'm more active these days. And I will repost your homework and I will correct it even with a live on Facebook, on Instagram. Or also, if you like this lesson, subscribe. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. Turn on the notifications bell. And also, I want you, if you like, to interact with me, to talk with me live, to be a part of an exclusive community of people, to apply for the membership, to become a member of this channel, in which I can give you a lot of perks. I can see who is a member of this channel in the comments. You get a badge close to your name. You get to enter live stream or exclusive content only. And I don't want to forget to thank my patrons. My patrons are the real supporters of this project that's keeping me filming and creating new content for you, beneficial and really worthy content. My patrons are supporting this project of mine through Patreon. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate your support and your help. If you want to become one of my patrons, you also get some rewards that are listed in my Patreon page here. Click on the Patreon page and check if you would like to become one of my patrons and get some of my rewards. Thank you for watching, and I hope you like this kind of new lessons. I'm going to continue with the old lesson style, the prepared lesson, but I'm also going to use my whiteboard a lot in order to teach you to speak the language and not only the theory of the grammar. All right, I'll see you in the following Arabic lesson with me, Maha. مع السلامة.